This is a quick video to give you a tour through some of the things that we're attempting to do in the development of VLE pages, particularly to support remote working for students who may not be in school. So this is the VLE support page, which those of you who are in the training session should get, and I will email out to you all. But we're just going to have a look down from it, and we're going to look down to the side here. You can see my cursor moving. We're going to look at an exemplar page, which I've put together some time ago to support the teaching of an A-level coursework module. So we're just going to click on that. And what I would say about this page is that it's very, very content rich. And what I'm doing here is putting an awful lot of information into a single place so that students can interact with it in quite a lot of detail. So initially here we have coursework titles, and as we scroll down we're going to get other information. Excuse the bells in the background there. The first thing we've got on the page here is something which in another video over time we will endeavour to show you how to do, but this is an embedded podcast that I've made that is giving some commentary on an element of the class. So I'll just be quiet for a moment and play it, and you should be able to hear that on the recording as well. So let's just listen for a moment. So I'm going to move it
linguistic, and in a real sense, it is this, contextually, which forms.
So that's a live recording of a class that is going on where I'm talking through the construction of a model answer. It's relatively simple to do that. We will make a video for you showing you how to integrate audio clips into, so how to make an audio clip and then how to put it into a VLE task. That's actually a good deal easier when you have the new Surface Pros, which will be coming your way. But integrating audio clips adds an element of the human voice and, of course, allows us to do a degree of didactic instruction. Just moving beneath that, we have an embedded PDF document, which I'm sure won't come as any great surprise to many of you, but again, for the uninitiated, we'll show you how to build a PDF document into a website. One of the glories of this is that if I just hit the audio recording going here for a second.
The central dramatic conceit and chronological period.
What I can do there is, of course, I can have an embedded PDF document which I'm talking through, or a PowerPoint or something else where the audio and the other stimulus material can be separate, but they can also work together. And it's quite easy to be able to add some commentary at the beginning of your audio to show people how to do that. So scrolling down this page, we've got, for example, here an exemplar opening section, which, if you listen to the podcast that I'm producing just up here, is actually the model answer that I produced, and it just aids some reference there. It aids them to have that exemplar text available to them as they're listening to the podcast. Then beneath this, we've got an embedded PowerPoint. And for many people, this will be the meat and drink of an interactive page that you can prepare your class notes up beforehand. And then there is a capacity via PowerPoint where you can record the audio directly onto the slides. But it's probably easier just to record the audio and make the PowerPoint separately and give them instructions about when to move on to the next slide. It's pretty easy to do that, but again, we'll make a video to show you how to embed these things into a page. Some more podcasts here. These are all things that I've recorded myself, so they are giving detailed textual readings of different parts of a lengthy novella. Moving on beneath that though, another PowerPoint slide just down here. Again, just dragged and dropped in. Here we have links to websites, so you can then click in directly links. So we're just going to take, we were studying Brian Friel's translations, so if we just click on there, it takes you to, rather grimly, Friel's obituary with a contextual set of information about him, his life, his career. We'll just flick back again. And in a moment, you should then get directly back to where you're on the page. And you can build in multiple different web sources, including here, for example, via Google Books. I've actually got a link directly into a book that the students could read on Friel, where there are interviews with Friel about his life and his work. So that's quite a nice little feature of this sort of page. Again, really very easy to do. All it is a web link. Beneath this, we've got embedded YouTube. So you can, via the same site here, for example, watch an entire RTE documentary on Friel and his work.
25 years ago today, the Guildhall in Derry bore witness to one of the most remarkable and important theatrical events in the Irish theatre, the premiere of Brian Friel's
Okay, then there's a whole, there are a number of these. Underneath this, more embedded PDF documents using our JSTOR facility for journals. There are a number of journal articles beneath here, which students can both read on here, or indeed if they click the link beneath it, they can download them directly so that they can read them separately. So there's a number of journal articles there. And if we're scrolling down, quite a lot of this material. I did tell you beforehand that there's quite a lot of interesting stuff, but a lot of information on this page. You'll also see here there's a link to Questia Books, where you can directly link across to a page from our online subscription library service. Moving down here, whole other sections, so embedded videos with other people, more web links, more articles. One thing interestingly here is I'm linking direct into podcasts from external providers. So this is the Open Book Pen podcast about Anne Enright and the Green Road, which was another text that another group was studying. So if I just click and link across there, that takes you directly to that, and that's on an external site rather than me having to download it. It's quicker that way, and of course quick is good. So we'll just flick back again, wait for that to go along. What I've also got in here is an embedded Prezi presentation. Now, Prezis are quite fiddly, I would say, for, they take quite a lot of building and making, but it's quite easy once you've made them to embed them in here. So if you happen to be a Prezi fan, it is relatively simple to embed those and indeed start to do a presentation direct from a from a VLE page. At the bottom here, what I've also just shown you, and I've just modeled this here, is built into this, there are the comment functions. So I have just played with it, and here I am clearly just talking to myself, giving you examples of the fact that students can move on to this and they can add comments and you can interact with them as well. So this is just a very quick tour through some of the elements of this. Let's just look at one last thing which you can't do via this sort of page, but you can do via another sort. So I'm going to move up quite quickly on this page so that I can get up a bit further. What I would say as we're moving here is that this page wasn't something I built all in one go. This was something that evolved over quite some time. So you can build these things cumulatively. The last thing that I would show you there that in terms of an interactive page you can do is I'm just moving across to a question page. And here what you can see is a good example of watching a Colin McCann video, how you can build in interactive quizzing and different types of question type. I've already in fact made a video on how to do this, and these videos will continue to be drip fed, showing you different bits of how to build content onto a VLE page to aid and support remote learning. I hope that's useful. As ever, pause it, rewind it. This is just a sort of general tour of some of the facilities that are possible, and I'm only scratching the surface with some of this stuff. But thank you for listening. I hope it's of some help, and watch the other videos on this page that will be emerging to see some of the ways in which you can start to do some of these things yourself. But thank you for listening.